हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for your kind association. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। तस्यारविन्दनयनस्य पदारविन्द किञ्जल्कमिश्रतुलसीमकरन्दवायुः अन्तर्गतस्वविवरेण चकार तेषां संक्षोभमक्षरजुषामपि चित्ततन्वोः। नेह यत्कर्मधर्माय न विरागाय कल्पते, न तीर्थपदसेवायै जीवनपि मृतो हि सः। प्रसङ्गमजरं पाशम् आत्मन कवयो विदु, स एव साधुषु कृतो मोक्षद्वारम् अपावृतम्। तितिक्षव कारुणिका सुहृदः सर्वदेहिनाम्, अजातशत्रवः शान्ताः साधवः साधुभूषणाः। सतां प्रसङ्गान् मम वीर्यसंविदो भवन्ति हृत्कर्णरसायना कथा। तज्जोषणादाशपवर्गवर्त्मनि श्रद्धारतिर्भक्तिरनुक्रमिष्यति। हासं हरेरवनताखिललोकतीव्र शोकाश्रुसागरविशोषणमत्युदारम्। सम्मोहनाय रचितं निजमाययास्य भ्रूमण्डलं मुनिकृते मकरध्वजस्य। मद्गुणश्रुतिमात्रेण मयि सर्वगुहाशये मनोगतिरविच्छिन्ना यथा गङ्गां वसोऽम्बुदौ। लक्षणं भक्तियोगस्य निर्गुणस्य युदाहृतम् अहेतुक्यव्यवहिताया भक्तिपुरुषोत्तमे। सालोक्यसारष्टिसामीप्य सारूप्यैकत्वमप्युत दीयमानं न गृह्णन्ति विना मत्सेवनं जनाः। यन्नामधेय श्रवणानुकीर्तनाद् यत्प्रवलनाद् यत्स्मरणादपि क्वचित् स्वादोऽपि सद्यः सवनाय कल्पते कुतः पुनस्ते भगवन्नुदर्शनात्। अहो बतश्व पचतो गरीयान् यज्जिह्वाग्रे वर्तते नाम तुभ्यम्। ते पुस्तपस्ते जुहुः सस्नुरार्या ब्रह्मानुचूर्णाम गृह्णन्ति ये ते। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Dear devotees, Hare Krishna. Let us continue our study of Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 30, entitled Description of Adverse Fruitive Activities, Text 18. This chapter is entitled Description of Adverse Fruitive Activities. Bhagwan Shri Kapil Dev Muni is telling his mother, Shri Devahuti Devi, and through her, Bhagwan is telling all of us also about adverse fruitive activities, vikarma, sinful activities. Text 18. This is again Srimad Bhagavatam 3.30.18. एवं कुटुंब भरणे व्यापृतात्मा जितेन्द्रियः म्रियते रुदतां स्वानाम् उरुवेदनयास्तधी. Translations and purports by His Divine Grace, Shri Srimad Abhay Charanarvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Bhagavan Sri Kapil Dev is saying, thus the man who engaged with uncontrolled senses in maintaining a family dies in great grief, seeing his relatives crying. He dies most pathetically in great pain and without consciousness. Uru Vedana. Vedana means pain. Uru means great. Such a person, he dies, a sinful person. Mriyate, he dies in great pain while Rudatam Swanam. All the relatives are crying in pain. This person who is dying, sinful person, is also experiencing a lot of pain and he dies helplessly. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that at the time of death, one will be absorbed in thoughts which he cultivated during his lifetime. Yanti devavrata devan pitrin yanti pitrivatan bhutani yanti bhute jamut bhakta yajanopimam. Whatever we have done in our lifetime, that will become our thought. Ananta kale chamameva smaran mutva kalevaram. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tayan tante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sudatat bhava bhavita. Whatever consciousness we have at the time of death, that is what we'll attain. Rajarshi Bharat Maharaj was thinking of the deer, he became a deer in his next life. Puranjan was thinking about his wife, Puranjani, next life he became a woman. At the last stage, no one is satisfied with how he has improved the family economic condition. Everyone thinks that he could provide not sufficiently. Material nature is such that we never feel completely satiated and satisfied. We always want more. Because of his deep family affection, he forgets his main duty. What is the main duty? To control the senses. To control the senses. If we don't control the senses, we go to hell. Adanta gope visatam tamisram punah punascharvita charvanana. Matiruna Krishna paratasvatava mithobi padayeta griha vratanam adanta gobhir vishatam tamisram punah punascharvita charvanana. Go means senses. Adanta means uncontrolled. Adanta gobhir vishatam tamisram. We enter tamisra hell if our senses are uncontrolled. And in this way, we are running after what we have already enjoyed. Punah punascharvita charvana. Chewing that has already been chewed. Sometimes a dying man entrusts the family affairs to either his son or some relative, saying, I am going, please look after the family. He does not know where he is going. In the newspaper obituary, people write, Swargavas ho gaya. But how do you know? Swargavas hua ki narakvas hua? But even at the time of death, he's anxious about how his family will be maintained. He doesn't know where he is going, but he's worried about his family. Sometimes it is seen that a dying man requests the physician to increase his life at least for a few years so that he can take care of the family maintenance plan. I have seen that so many times. My granddaughter is getting married in February next year. Please, doctor, somehow do some new chemotherapy, some experimental treatment, but can you prolong my life till February? My grandson is graduating from college in the fall. Can you please do something? I want to live till fall. I have got such requests from my dying patients. What Prabhupada is saying is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Sometimes it is seen that a dying man requests the physician to increase his life so that some family maintenance plan can be taken care of. These are material diseases of the conditioned soul. He completely forgets his real engagement. The patient will never tell doctor, can you just do something that I'm able to focus on Krishna? Never. I have never had that request. Never. Hare Krishna. This is the sad state in the Kali Yuga. He completely forgets his real engagement to become Krishna conscious and is always serious about planning to maintain his family. Although he changes families one after the other. He's thinking of this family's maintenance, but he doesn't know in his next life he's going to have another family that he's going to worry about and get attached. And then another family. We are like the twigs floating in the river. Some twigs come together, then they separate, then they stick to another twig, then separate. The twig that we are in touch with at that moment, we feel this is my family. This is my samaj. This is my group. Text 19. यमदूतौ तदा प्राप्तौ भीमो सरभः सेक्षणौ सदृष्ट्वा त्रस्तहृदयः शकृन्मूत्रं विमुञ्चति. Hi, hi. At death, the sinful man sees the messengers of the Lord of Death, Yamadut, come to before him. The Yamduta's eyes are full of wrath, full of anger. Sa Rabasa, eyes are full of anger. Bhimo, they look terrible. Seeing the Yamdutas at the time of death, the sinful man becomes very scared. Trasta Hridaya, he becomes very frightened. Drishtva, seeing the Yamdutas, Trasta Hridaya, he becomes very scared in his heart. And out of fear, Shakrit means stool, and Mutra means urine. Vimunchati, he passes. He passes stool and urine in his deathbed because he's so petrified seeing the ghastly forms of the Yamdutas. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada says something very important. I would like all of you to highlight and remember this sentence. The beginning of the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, there are two kinds of transmigration of a living entity after passing away from the present body. After death, there are two kinds of destinations. One is to go to the controller of sinful activities, who is known as Yamaraj. To go to Yamaraj for Nirnay, what is going to happen to us. Second option is to go to the higher planets, up to Vaikuntha. There are many higher planets going all the way up to Vaikuntha Lok. That is one option, going up. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha, madhye tishtanti rajasa, jagana gunavrittisya adho gachanti tamasa. Those who are in the mode of ignorance, they go down. Those who are in the mode of passion, Yamaraj will keep them here only. In a human body, in a tiger body, in a dog body. If you are attached to dogs, will become dogs. Cat body, whatever. A tree body. Nalakuer Manikriv became trees. And those who are in the mode of goodness, they go up. Those who are in the mode of ignorance go down. Mode of passion, stay here on the earthly plane in so many species. At the time of death, the Yamdutas become the custodians of those persons who have strongly gratified their senses. Those who engage in sense gratification, just enjoying with their senses, not doing bhajan, they will be taken to Yamaraj for judgment. They take charge of the dying man and take him to the planet where Yamaraj resides. What is the planet of Yamaraj? Pluto. Hare Krishna. We go to Pluto. The conditions there are described in the following verses. What happens when we go to the hellish planets? Text 20. Please remember the first two words of this verse. Verse number 3.30.20. First two words. Remember them. Yatana deha avritya pashair badhva gale balat nayato dirgham advanam dandyam raja bhatayatha. Yatana deha. Right now we have a deha, we have a sharir, we have a body. When we leave this body and we have committed sins with this body and we are taken to Yamraj, then Yamraj gives us a yatana deha, a yatana sharir. It's a special body that is meant for us to undergo yatana, undergo suffering. The body that we get in the hellish planets is called yatana deha. With this body, we suffer. See, this is my body. Now I'm touching my hand with the other hand, nothing is happening. Why? Because my hand is covered with regular skin. I'm not feeling anything. Huh. If I touch this hand to a thorn, a cactus plant, ouch, I'll feel the pricking sensation. Or if I touch something hot, fire, my hand will burn. I will feel pain. But when I do this, nothing happens. Why? Because the skin is normal. In the Yatana Sharir, the skin is very sensitive to pain. It is as if the skin has been peeled partially. Have you had that sensation when the skin is injured? How sensitive it is? If there's a cut in the finger, you squeeze a lemon, what happens? Ah! In India, growing up, we used to play the kites, fly the kites, and with that manja, our fingers used to chronically be cut in the month of December, January, Sankrant season. And whenever we used to take something salty or something sour, the finger used to burn. Ah, because it is raw. Yatana Sharir is raw. It is raw. It is meant specifically to perceive pain. And in that sensitive Yatana Sharir, which is specifically designed for Yatana, for suffering, we are beaten, we are uh, whipped, we are thrown from a high place, we are thrown in boiling oil. Can you imagine the amount of pain that the Yatana Sharir will perceive? And another specialty of the Yatana Deha is that the Yatana Deha does not die for a period that Yamraj decides. If Yamraj says 20,000 years, beat him in hell. He has killed so many people, he has punished, he has tortured so many people, he has committed so many sins, he has had illicit sex, he has done this. Go, make him embrace a hot iron pillar with that body. Take him to Rau, hell. So Yatana Sharir, person who had illicit sex, who embraced other women illicitly, will embrace that hot, red hot iron pillar and his body will burn. But the specialty is the body doesn't die for the time period designated by Yamraj. If Yamraj says 10,000 years, punish him. For 10,000 years, the person will just suffer, experience excruciating, unbearable pain, but will not die. In the material world, the body will die. If the body is burnt, body will die. But the Yatana Deha will remain alive for the time frame that Yamraj has designated that body for. That Yatana Deha comes with a manufacture date and expiry date. Before expiry date, it will not die. So we have to be very careful, my dear friends. We have got a very, very good opportunity that we have a human form of life. We have Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Varga in our life. We have Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We have Srimad Bhagavatam. We have Association of Devotees. This chance we should not miss because of silly attachments, crazy temptations, and temporary sense gratification. It's not worth it. What we stand to achieve if we continue nicely on this path is so beautiful, so powerful, so eternal. Why should we give it up? Shulla sukhaya dukkham. For temporary, minuscule amount of happiness, why we should give up this golden opportunity? So Yatana Deha Avritya, the soul and the subtle body is covered by Yatana Deha. Right now it is covered by this Sthul Sharir, this gross body. Instead of Sthul Sharir, when the Sthul Sharir dies and we have committed sins with the Sthul Sharir, with the gross body, we get a Yatana Deha. We get a special body, hellish body, which is meant for suffering. As a criminal is arrested for punishment, I'm reading the translation, verse number 20. As a criminal is arrested for punishment by the constables of the state, a person engaged in criminal sense gratification. What is criminal sense gratification? Raise your hand. Please tell. Tell all the devotees what is the meaning of criminal sense gratification. Yes, Mukta Sangha Prabhu.
Example, illicit sex.
Yes, correct. Any sense gratification that is not authorized. That is called sinful sense gratification, criminal sense gratification. Yes, Shikha Mataji, what is criminal sense gratification?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, like uh, something we do like in a wrong way or the gambling, we can say.
Yes, breaking of the regulated principles, gambling. It's a criminal sense gratification. People go to casino, spend so much money thinking they are enjoying. That's doing sense gratification, yes, but it is criminal sense gratification. Now you go to Ben Salem Bhakti Vriksha on Saturday, Shikha Mataji and Vanit Prabhu. Mukta Sangha Prabhu is very happy. You came such a long distance and he gives you a Mahaprasad Rasgulla that he has cooked. And he gives one for Vansh also. Vansh takes laddu. And Vansh is eating that Rasgulla Mukta Sangha Prabhu has given. Very tasty. Is that sense gratification? Criminal sense gratification?
No, it's Krishna.
Krishna has given it. It is
Yeah.
Krishna Pradatta. So there is spiritual sense gratification, which purifies us, which brings us closer to Krishna, and there is criminal sense gratification, which takes us away from Krishna and takes us closer to hell. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
As a criminal is arrested for punishment by the police in criminal sense gratification, is similarly arrested by Yamdutas who bind him by the neck neck of the subtle body, with strong rope and cover his subtle body so that he may undergo severe punishment. Undergo severe punishment means yatana deha avritya. Is given yatana deha. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport very, 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 very important purport. Very important to understand this. So I'm going to read Srila Prabhupada's purport now. Please listen carefully. Every living entity is covered. What is the meaning of living entity? The jiva, soul. Every living entity, which means the jivatma, the spirit soul, is covered by a subtle body and a gross body. So there is the jivatma, then there is the sukshma sharir, and then there is the sthul sharir. Subtle body, gross body. Every living entity, soul, is covered by a subtle body and a gross body. The subtle body is the covering of mind, intelligence, ego, consciousness. It is said in the scriptures that Yamdutas cover the subtle body of the culprit and take the subtle body with the soul inside it to the abode of Yamraj to be punished in a way that he is able to tolerate. Tolerate means he will not die. Not tolerate means you die. Tolerate means he will not die. He will live throughout the duration of punishment. He does not die from his punishment, because if he died, then who would suffer the punishment? Hare Krishna. The process of punishment is explained in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. This very nicely explained. So what used to happen in the previous ages, if a criminal is caught by the king could give different punishment. One punishment was take him to the river, hold him by his neck, and just plunge his head under the water of the river. After 1 minute, he's suffocating. He needs to breathe. He needs oxygen. When he's about to die, they will help him come out of the water. He'll take a few deep breaths. Again, for a minute, he'll be plunged. Just trying to come out. Again. They won't let him die. They won't let him live peacefully. Every breath is a struggle. Imagine a life like that, where every breath is a struggle. Yes, you get few breaths, but you get those breaths when you're on the verge of death. And then again you are plunged. Hare Krishna. Material world is like that. The enjoyment in the material world is like those few breaths of air. Right now we may feel, yeah, I am comfortable. Things are nice. Well, we are in this phase. We are in that phase, but very soon death is going to come. Old age is going to come. Old age is not fun. Death is not fun. So that's how this material life is. Verse number 21. Tayor nirbhinna hridaya starjanair jata vepathu pathi shvabhir bhakshamana artogham swam anusmaran. While carried by the Yamdutas, constables of Yamraj, he is overwhelmed and trembles in his hands. While passing on the road to hell, he is bitten by dogs and he can remember the sinful activities of his life. He is thus terribly distressed. Yavraj gives punishment when he's taken to the hell. On the way, also, dogs start biting. The journey also is not comfortable. The destination will not be comfortable, even the journey will not be comfortable. Purport. It appears from this verse that while passing from this planet to the planet of Yamraj, the culprit arrested by Yamraj's constables meet many dogs which bark and bite just to remind him of his criminal activity, sense gratification. Kamayastayaste hritatjnana. His knowledge is stolen because of his material desires. And now Yamraj reminds, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, you committed this sin. So that the person is corrected. While we live in a gross body, such activities of sense gratification are encouraged by modern government regulations. Government encourages us to do so many sinful things. Abortion is legal, alcohol is legal, meat eating is legal. Encouragement is there to do these things, but these are all allowed by the earthly government, but it is not allowed by Krishna's law and order, and we will be punished for that. Women are supplied pills and they are allowed to go to clinical laboratory to get abortions. Abortion pills are given now, and so many other things are done. This is going on as a result of sense gratification. Actually, sex life is meant for begetting good children. But because people have no control over their senses, Adanta Gobhir, and there is no institution to train them to control the senses, the poor fellows fall victim to the criminal offenses of sense gratification and they are punished after death, as described in these verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. What happens? Shutrit paritarka davanala nilay santapyamana pathi taptavaluke krichrena prishthe कषया च ताडितश्चलत् अशक्तोऽपि निराश्रमोदके. Under the scorching sun, the criminal has to pass through roads of hot sand with forest fires on both sides. He is whipped on the back by the Yamdutas, constables of Yamraj, because of his inability to walk. And he is afflicted by hunger and thirst. It's a long road, many, many yojanas. He is hungry, thirsty, but no food is given, no water is given. Unfortunately, there is no drinking water, no shelter, and no place to rest on the road. On the sides, the fire is scorching. Underneath, the hot sand is burning the soles of the feet. On the back, he is being whipped. And in the mouth, there is dryness, thirst, and hunger. And he's begging, Thoda pani do, give me some water, give me some respite. But there is no respite, there is no water, there is no food. Hare Krishna. This is on the way to hell. Imagine what will happen when we reach the hell. 23. Hare Krishna. This is the mood of preachers, my dear friends. This is what Prabhupada's mood was. I don't want anybody to suffer. This was the mood of Sri Vasudev Datta. I don't want anyone to go to hell. They're suffering, bichare. Let me suffer. Let this one person suffer. Why so many people should suffer? Let them all enjoy in Vaikuntha. Let them go to Vaikuntha. I will suffer for them. Hare Krishna. Tatra tatra patan shranto मूर्छितः पुनरुत्थितः पथा पापीयसा नीतस तरसा yamasadanam. While passing on the road to the abode of Yamraj, he falls down in fatigue and sometimes he becomes unconscious. But he is forced to rise again. In this way, he is very quickly brought to the presence of Yamraj. So when a sinful person dies, Yamraj sends the Yamdutas, they tie the subtle body with Yampash, and along this torturous road, they bring him to Yamraj. Now let's see what happens when Yamraj sees. And this person on the way, Murchita Punha, Uttida. He becomes unconscious due to pain, falls on, but again he's made to get up. Again he falls on, again he's made to get up. In this way, he's brought to Yamraj. Yojananam sahasrani navatim nava chadvanah त्रिभिर् मुहूर्तैर्द्वाभ्यां वा नीतः प्राप्नोति यातनाः. Thus he has to pass 99,000 yojanas within 2 or 3 moments, and then he is at once engaged in the torturous punishment which he is destined to suffer. On the way to Yamraj this happens, then Yamraj metes out the punishment and then that punishment is started. And this road is 99,000 yojanas long. And that much pain, that much suffering he has to suffer in 2 to 3 moments, concentrated pain. And then he goes to Yamraj, and immediately Yamraj doesn't take time to decide. Not that, Are Bichara, he's been punished so much, let him rest in Yamlok little bit. I give him a nice room, accommodation to stay, nothing. Immediately, justice, go. This hell for this duration. He is destined to suffer. Nitaha prapnoti yatana. Yatana means punishment. In the yatana deha, he is given. Then Srila Prabhupada says 1 yojan is 8 miles. So he has to pass through so many miles. 792,000 miles. Such a long distance is passed within only a few moments. Subtle body is covered by Yamdutas, so that the living entity can pass such a long distance quickly, at the same time tolerate the suffering. So much suffering is given. Text 25. आदीपनं स्वगात्राणां वेष्टयित्वोल्मुखादिभिः आत्ममांसादनं क्वापि स्वकृतं परतोऽपि वा. He is placed in the midst of burning pieces of wood. Ulmuka Adibhi. He is placed amidst burning pieces of wood and his limbs are set on fire. Atma Mamsa Adanam. And he is made to eat his own flesh. He is burnt, and then when his flesh is roasted, he is told to eat your own flesh. He is made to eat his own flesh, and also, if he doesn't eat, then Parataha, then others will eat. You eat or others will eat your own flesh. Hare Krishna. This is the punishment given to sinful people. From this verse through the next three verses, the description of punishment will be narrated. The first description is that the criminal has to eat his own flesh, burning with fire. His flesh is burnt and he has to eat it, burning flesh. Or allow others like him to eat who are present there. In the last great war, people in concentration camps, Second World War, sometimes ate their own stool. So there is no wonder that the Yam Sadhana, the abode of Yamraj, one who had a very enjoyable life eating others' flesh, has to eat his own flesh. Hare Krishna. Those who eat meat, they eat the chicken tangdi and all this, they eat bakra and they eat cow flesh, they eat fish. Now they have to eat their own flesh. Otherwise, others will eat their flesh. This is the punishment for meat eaters. Why? Because when you eat meat, you are giving pain to others. How much pain that chicken feels when the neck is cut? How much pain a fish feels when you pull the fish out of water? The fish is struggling for air, struggling for breathing, struggling to go back into water. And where is pulling the fish out of water in the net? And then cows are slaughtered, goats are slaughtered. How much pain they feel? So that pain we also have to feel. What we do, it comes back. As you sow, so shall you reap. That is the law of nature. Text 26. Jivata chatrabhyudhara shva gridrair yamasadane sarpa vrichika dam shadyair dashadbhis chatma vaishasam. His insides are pulled out, the viscerals, the bowels are pulled out by bloodhounds. Hounds are special dogs that are trained to bite. Hounds and vultures of hell. In the hellish planet, there are vultures and bloodhounds, who pull out the inside of the body, the intestines, the liver, even though he's still alive. And while he's alive, he has to see them eat his body parts. He's subject to torments by serpents, scorpions, gnats, and other creatures that come and bite. Text 27. Krintanam chavayavasho gajadibhyo bhidapanam patanam giri shringebhyo rodanam chambu gartayoh. Next, his limbs are lopped off and torn asunder by elephants. Elephants come, they wrap their trunk around the arms and just pull out. How Bhim pulled out the right hand of Dushasan, like that. Elephants come with their trunk, they uproot, amputate limbs of the body of the person who is supposed to suffer in the Yatana Deha. He is hurled down hilltops, he is thrown from hilltops. He is also held captive either in water or in a cave. So much fear is given, so much pain is given. Yastamisrandha tamisra रौरवाद्याश्च यातनाः भुङ्क्ते नरो वा नारी वा मिथः संगेन निर्मिताः. Men and women whose lives were built upon indulgence in illicit sex life are put into many kinds of miserable conditions in the hells known as Tamisra, Andhatamisra, and Raurava. Purport. Srila Prabhupada says, materialistic life is based on sex life. The existence of all materialistic people who are undergoing severe tribulation in the struggle for existence is based on sex. The highest pleasure, my dear friends, in this material world is sex life. There is pleasure in eating good food. There is pleasure in gambling. There is pleasure in going on vacation. There is pleasure in having money, pleasure in wearing nice clothes, pleasure in having power, appreciation. But the greatest pleasure is sexual intercourse in the material world. Materialistic life is based on sex life. Existence of all materialistic people who are undergoing severe tribulation in the struggle for existence is based on sex life. Therefore, in the Vedic civilization, sex life is allowed only in a restricted way. It is for the married couple and only for begetting children. But when sex life is indulged in for sense gratification illegally and illicitly, both the man and the woman await severe punishment in this world or after death. Look at what Srila Prabhupada says. In this world also, they are punished by virulent diseases like syphilis and gonorrhea. We see that all the time. I used to work in the STD clinic, STI clinic in my residency, where only sexually transmitted infections patients come. And chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, HIV, hepatitis C, all these things, herpes, genital warts, all these horrible, horrible diseases are there just from illicit sex. And in the next life, also, we see in the passage of Srimad Bhagavatam, they are put into different kinds of hellish conditions to suffer. So, illicit sex, which is the highest happiness and pleasure and enjoyment in this world, people are crazy after it. In this life, also, it causes suffering. Marriages break because of being unfaithful. So, there is suffering. Then you pay alimony, you go through painful divorce, the children have to suffer, families have to suffer, people look down, they don't respect a person who has been, cheating on the spouse. So there's suffering in this world, plus you get sexually transmitted infections. And in the next life, there is more suffering at the hands of Yamdutas. So illicit sex is, even though considered to be the highest pleasure in this world, it is simply suffering from beginning to the end. What does Lord Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? यही संस्पर्शजा भोगा दुख योनय एवते आद्यंतवंत कौंतेय न तेषु रमते बुधा. These sense gratifications may appear very tempting, but from the beginning to the end, they are simply cause of dukkha. They are simply cause of suffering and sorrow. And therefore, a Buddha, intelligent person, will not indulge in them. Na teshu ramate Buddha. Buddha means an intelligent person. Na teshu ramate means does not indulge in them. An intelligent person will not indulge. Even if the greatest temptation of the most wonderful, pleasurable sex comes, intelligent person will not engage. Haridas Thakur had the perfect setup. He was in his 20s. He was young, handsome, healthy, youthful. Lakshahira was 18 years old. Very, very beautiful young girl. And it was a beautiful, nice, cool breeze was blowing. It was a solitary night. He was in the comfort of his cottage. They could have enjoyed like anything. But even though the perfect opportunity was given, Srila Haridas Thakur was not tempted. He was not tempted. Because he was experiencing something higher. विषय विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनां रसोवर्चम रसोप्यस्य param दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते. We should develop a higher taste in Krishna consciousness. Higher taste in Krishna consciousness comes when we practice Krishna consciousness seriously and wholeheartedly. If we don't get a taste in Krishna consciousness, my dear friends, then Maya will call us for her pleasures. Therefore, it is important that we associate with like-minded devotees who give us the sweetness of Krishna consciousness. And when we taste that sweetness of Krishna consciousness, we don't want to go to those lower tastes, which are temporary. How long will sex life last? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes? But there is no end to how much Bhagavatam will last. Day and night we can hear Bhagavatam. Day and night we can chant Harinam. Day and night we can hear Kirtan. We can worship the deities with all our hearts all day long. There is no cessation, and it is a completely sustainable, healthy process of being happy. Haribol. Whereas that kind of pleasure, oh, I have to look good. Oh, what if I lose my beauty? My partner will not be interested in me. So many things are there, so many anxieties are there, such temporary that enjoyment is. But to enjoy with Krishna, nothing is required. You can sit solitude and just chant Hare Krishna and feel close to Krishna. Just take a harmonium or something, kartala, sit in front of your Gaur Nitai, alone, when nobody's there, and just sing your heart out. See the pleasure that we can get. Just sing your heart out to them. Just you and them. Aha. That pleasure is not in watching movies. That pleasure is not in Netflix. That pleasure is not in sexual intercourse. That pleasure is not in going on the most expensive vacation to the most beautiful place. It's a different joy. The heart melts. Krishna reciprocates. It is so beautiful. So, Krishna consciousness is a sustainable way of enjoying. Sexual intercourse, sense gratification is not sustainable. Not sustainable at all. The other day, I discharged a 69-year-old, very, very successful multimillionaire of Atlanta with stage 4 cancer, diagnosed all of a sudden. And when I was discharging him, I was giving him oxycodone, I was giving Miralax to avoid constipation from oxycodone, and so many other medicines. I'm giving him something to help him sleep at night. And then I said, "Is there anything else you need?" And he told me, Viagra. I need Viagra. I could not believe this patient had cachexia. Cachexia is a very advanced stage of malnutrition in cancer. It's called cancer cachexia. You can look it up. What is cancer cachexia? Cancer cachexia is the last stage of malnutrition before a patient dies because of cancer. In a condition where he had cancer cachexia, now he's not able to enjoy sex life. So he somehow wants to take Viagra and continue to enjoy sex life in the last days of his life. Hare Krishna. So Bhagavatam is very much required for us, my dear friends. Srila Prabhupada says that in Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, illicit sex life is very much condemned. Who can tell me what Srila Prabhupada is talking about? In the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, illicit sex is condemned, Prabhupada says. In the Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, illicit sex life is also very much condemned. Yes, Satya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna says that I'm very much afraid of killing the soldiers because if the soldiers die, their wife will not be protected and there
Varna Sankara.
Varna Sankar might come.
Very good. Yeah.
Prabhuji, one more thing I wanted to share, Prabhuji. In the beginning of the book, whatever we read till now, the picture is there, everything, how the elephants are pulling, everything is there, Prabhuji. How the vultures are eating, how the elephants are pulling us, how we are eating our own flesh.
Where is it?
The beginning of the book, there is pictures, no? Just two, last but two pictures.
Oh, last. So I see. Yeah. See that vulture is pulling out the viscerals out, the bowels out.
It's so scary.
And that dog who's pulling out the bowels out, that's the hound. Serpents are squeezing. Look at the gruesome nature of the Yamdutas. Yes, thank you, Mataji.
Just so show that, Prabhu.
Huh?
Can you show us that?
Yes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You can see?
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Very scary. Thank you.
Very scary. And now, I'll show you something very beautiful. You ready? Hari Bol! Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada
Yay.
ki Jai. Remember this. Not that. That also you remember, but meditate on this. Jai Srila Prabhupada. It is confirmed here in Srimad Bhagavatam, last sentence of the purport. It is confirmed here in Srimad Bhagavatam that such offenders are put into hellish conditions in life, Tamisra hell, Andha Tamisra hell, and Raurava hell. Next verse 29. Atraiva narakasvarga iti matah prachakshate yayatana vai narakyasta iha upalakshita. Lord Shri Kapiladev continued, My dear Mother Devahuti Mata, it is sometimes said that we experience hell or heaven on this planet, for hellish punishments are sometimes visible on this planet also. Ta iha api upalakshita narakya. In this world, on earth planet, also hell is visible. Do you remember? I was traveling somewhere and we gave a class, Bhakti Vaibhava class, and I shared some personal experiences where I have seen hellish like sufferings on this earth planet. You remember? My 18-year-old patient with colon cancer who had complete burst abdomen. So, yes, hellish suffering is there in this world also. So many people suffer such agonizing miseries. Purport. Sometimes unbelievers or non believers do not accept these statements of scripture regarding hell. They disregard such authorized descriptions. Lord Kapila Dev therefore confirms them by saying that these hellish conditions are also visible on this planet. It is not that they are only on the planet where Yamaraj lives. On the planet of Yamaraj, a sinful man is given the chance to practice living in the hellish conditions which he will have to endure in the next life, and then he's given a chance to take birth on another planet to continue his hellish life. All the punishment has to be experienced. For example, if a man is to be punished to remain in hell and eat stool and urine, then first of all he practices such habits on the planet of Yamraj. And then he is given a particular type of body, that of a hog, so that he can eat stool and think that he is enjoying life. So our whole consciousness, my dear friends, is stunted. I want all of you to understand this principle. So now listen, I am a human being. Let's say I commit sins in this life. And then now I have got a human consciousness. Now suppose Yamraj says, this fellow has eaten stale food, restaurant food, meat, horrible things he has eaten. He's a very sinful person. He should be given the body of a hog. Let him eat stool and urine, and one day a tiger will come or hyenas will come and eat his flesh. So that is my destiny, to become a hog. So now, from a human consciousness, because see, my gross body will die, but my subtle body, consisting of my mind, intelligence, and ego, is still the same in the next life. So after Abhay Deshmukh, to become a hog, how that subtle body will adapt? So the subtle body is taken to Yamraj, and Yamraj downgrades the software of subtle body by giving punishment. There we are given practice to think like a hog, to feel like a hog, to have the consciousness of a hog, and then we are given a hog body, and we are very comfortable in the hog body. It's just a downgrade. Someone was a human being and now is in the body of a hog. That downgradation of the subtle body, deprogramming, is done by Yamaraj through that punishment. And then next body is given where he will do those activities. It is stated previously that in any hellish condition, the conditioned soul thinks that he is happy. You will never see a pig cry. Are pig babu, why you are crying? Oh, I want to be a human being. I don't like being a pig. Never. The pig is happy. A cat is happy being a cat. A dog is happy being a dog. Why? Because their consciousness has been stunted, has been downgraded to that of an animal. Even though previously they may have a human body, human consciousness. Subtle body is downgraded. Text 30. Evam kutumbam vibrana udaram bhar eva va visrijyeho bhayam pretya bhunkte tatphalam idrisham. After leaving this body, the man who maintained himself and his family members by sinful activities suffers a hellish life, and his relatives suffer also. Pretya means after death, bhunkte, he undergoes. Tat phalam. He undergoes the effect of whatever he has, sinful activity he has done. The mistake of modern civilization is that man does not believe in the next life. Just today, when I was giving the didactic on karma, that is the to the pastoral to the chaplaincy program. That is the problem. That in many faiths they don't believe in next life. They feel this is the only life. No, the soul transmigrates into different bodies, different species. But whether I believe or not, the next life is there. Someone may give me a speeding ticket, and I may tell the cop, I don't believe in speeding tickets. You may not believe, but you have to pay. So we may say, I don't believe in the laws of God. Who cares what you believe or you don't believe? The laws hold. Now, Prabhupada says something very important. I want everyone to pay attention here. Species lower than human beings are not responsible for their actions because they are made to act in a certain way. But in the developed life of human consciousness, if one is not responsible for his activities, then he's sure to get a hellish life as described here. So when a human being has illicit sex, the human being will be punished. But if a dog does the same thing, has sex with its own litter later on, we see dogs can do that. They can have sex with their own daughters or whatever, because in their society it is not like that. Those rules are not there. So the dog will not get sin. Or a dog will eat on Ekadashi, roti. The dog doesn't get sin, but human being gets sins. Because the lower species, Prabhupada clearly writes, species lower than human species, the lower species of animals and birds, they are simply meant to suffer. Because of sinful activities, that soul has got an animal or a plant body. They are only meant to suffer. Nalaku and Manigiri were only suffering as trees. The higher bodies, like the demigod bodies, are only meant for enjoying. We do pious activities, we get a demigod body to enjoy. We do sinful activities, we get lower species of life existence for suffering. It is human life only where we can accrue karma, where we do karma. So like that. So this is very clearly mentioned by Prabhupada. Species lower than human beings are not responsible for their actions. But human beings, if not responsible for their activities, then they are sure to get a hellish life. So we should not think that animals are doing karma. Karma is for human beings only. Next verse, 31. Ekah prapadyate dhvantam hitvedam swakalevaram kushaletara patheyo bhuta drohena yadbhritam. He goes alone to the darkest regions of hell after quitting the present body, and the money he acquired by envying other living entities is the passage money with which he leaves this world. All the money that we earn, it will be left behind. We cannot take it to the next life. But the karma that we earned while earning that money in an illegal, illicit way, adharmic way, that karma will go with us. That karma will go to the next life and we'll have to face punishment. Purport. When a man earns money by unfair means, now I request all of you to pay attention because this question has been asked to me by many devotees. The question is, I am a housewife. I am a homemaker. I am at home. My husband earns money. Well, but my husband earns money by things that break the regulative principles. So will I get sins? Good question. Let's see what happens. Prabhupada says, when a man earns money by unfair means and maintains his family and himself with that money, unfair means breaking the religious principles by adharma. The money is enjoyed by many members of the family, but he alone goes to hell. Hare Krishna. He alone goes to hell. But listen what Prabhupada says. A person who enjoys life by earning money or by envying another's life means by selling meat, products of slaughterhouse. A person who enjoys life by earning money or by envying another's life and who enjoys with family and friends will have to enjoy alone the resultant sinful actions accrued from such violent and illicit life. For example, if a man secures money by killing someone and with that money maintains his family, those who enjoy the black money earned by him are also partially responsible and are also sent to hell. But he who is the leader is especially punished. The result of material enjoyment is that one takes with him the sinful reaction only and not the money. The money he earned is left in this world and he takes only the karma, only the reaction. So those who are dependent on that person, they may get small reaction. But mainly the person who is earning money by illegal, illicit, adharmic ways, sinful ways, that person will be punished and held responsible. For example, one of the spouse is a gynecologist and is performing abortions and earning money by performing abortions. And the person's family members are living off that money. Everybody is benefiting. So the family members will get some sin. It's inauspicious for them to live off that money. But mainly the person who is performing the abortions, earning that money, making that choice, that person will go to hell. That person will primarily be responsible. Remember what Shripad Narad Muni told Ratnakar to ask his wife? Hmm? Janani Mataji, tell us what he told. You have to unmute, Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hmm.
Narada Muni told Ratnakar to ask and come, ask your wife whether she will partake in your.
And what did she say? What did she say? What
Hare
did the
Krishna.
wife say? The wife said that we will not. It is your duty to earn according to dharma. If you are not able to earn according to dharma, that is not our problem. You married us, you produced these children. Now it is your responsibility to earn money by following religion, following dharma. If you are not able to do that, that's your mistake. Now, we have to understand this concept very clearly because many times it is the husband who is earning and the wife is just a dependent. In this world also, if a person acquires some money by murdering someone, the family is not hanged, although its members are sinfully contaminated. In public, people will look down, that family, their son was a murderer. The family will lose their respect in society, but the family members will not go to jail or will not be hanged. It is the murderer who will be hanged or who will go to jail, depending on the laws of the state. In some states, the capital punishment is not allowed. But the man who commits the murder and maintains his family is himself hanged as a murderer. This is India. In India, you can be hanged. The direct offender is more responsible for sinful activities than the indirect enjoyer. I want everyone to underline this or highlight this sentence. Srila Prabhupada is saying, the direct offender is more responsible for sinful activities than the indirect enjoyer. The great learned scholar Chanakya Pandit says, therefore, that whatever he has in his possession had better be spent for the cause of Sat, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because one cannot take his possessions with him. They remain here and they will be lost. Either we leave the money or the money leaves us, but we will be separated. Our relationship with money is temporary. How beautiful. Srila Prabhupada is very poetic in this purport. Either we leave the money or the money leaves us. Prabhupada says, the best use of money, as long as it is within our possession, is to spend it to acquire Krishna consciousness, and when we die, give the estate for Krishna consciousness. Hari Bol! Like Srila Rupa Goswami, whose Tirabhav Tithi is today. 50% of his wealth he gave away to sadhus and for Krishna consciousness. 25% for emergency to release Srila Sanatan Goswami from jail, and 25% he gave to his family members for their maintenance. 32. दैवेनासादितं तस्य शमलं निरये पुमान् भुङ्क्ते कुटुम्बपोषस्य ऋतवित्त इवातुरः. Thus, by the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the maintainer of kinsmen is put into a hellish condition to suffer for his sinful activities like a man who has lost his wealth. So one may commit sinful activities to maintain the family. We cannot say, oh, I was doing it to maintain my family, forgive me. I was selling meat, I was selling liquor just to maintain my family. What to do? No. There were other ways to earn money, but you chose to earn money by sinful means. Therefore, you must suffer. By the law of the state, even though he returns the money, somebody has stolen the money, I say, okay, I will return it. No, that is not enough. He has to undergo punishment. If someone steals money and is caught and says, okay, here the money, take it, let me go home. No. You stole, you must go to jail. Money you have to return, plus you have to go to jail. Like that. 33. Therefore, best is not to break dharma. केवलेन अधर्मेण कुटुम्बा भरणोत्सुकः याति जीवो अन्धतामिश्रं चरमं tamasah padam. Therefore, a person who is very eager to maintain his family and kinsmen simply by black methods, means by adharma, by breaking the religious principles, certainly goes to the darkest region of hell, which is known as Andhatamisra. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that 3 words in this verse are very significant. Kevalena means only by black methods. Adharmena means by unrighteous or irreligious methods. And Kutumba Bharana means for the sake of family maintenance. Maintaining one's family is certainly the duty of a householder, but one should be eager to earn his money, his livelihood, by prescribed methods according to scriptures, which means according to dharma. A Brahman should earn money by teaching. Kshatriya should earn money by becoming a police officer or a military man or something like that. Vaishya should have some shop, some business, restaurant, something. Serve prasadam and earn your money. Do something like that. And a Shudra can work in some business where the four regulative principles are not broken. Meat, illicit sex, gambling, intoxication. One should work honestly according to his qualification. He should not earn his livelihood unfairly by means for which he is not qualified. So we should be earning our money according to dharma. 34. Last verse. अधस्तान्नरलोकस्य यावतीर्यातनादयः क्रमशः समनुक्रम्य पुनरत्राव्रजेच्छुचिः. Having gone through all the miserable hellish conditions and having passed in regular order through the lowest forms of animal life prior to human birth, and having thus been purged of his sins, one is reborn again as a human being on this earth. Hare Krishna. So when we commit sins and we die, we are taken to Yamraj. The journey is very painful. Yamraj immediately, without delay, awards us a Yatana Deha, and then whatever punishment has to be given, we suffer that punishment, and then we are given appropriate lower species birth, like a hog, for example, and then gradually through the process of evolution of consciousness, we come to the human form of life after having suffered all the negative karma that we were meant to suffer, and then we get finally a human form of life. So there is always hope, but it's a very twisted and long winding path. Why not directly take to Krishna consciousness and avoid all those complications? So here Srila Prabhupada says, just as a prisoner who has undergone troublesome prison life is set free again, the person who has engaged in impious and mischievous activities is put into hellish conditions, and when he has undergone different hellish lives, namely those in the lower animals like cats, dogs, and hogs, by the gradual process of evolution, he again comes back as a human being. Hare Krishna. In Sri Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that even though a person engaged in the practice of yoga system may not finish perfectly and may fall down for some reason, yoga bhrashta, then what happens? In his next life, he gets a human being birth is guaranteed. Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe, yoga bhrashto vijayate. We get a good human, rich family, pious family, like that we get. It can be concluded that if someone is not willing to enter into hellish life, as in Tamisra or Andhatamisra, then he must take to the process of Krishna consciousness, which is the first class yoga system. Prabhupada is saying, if you don't want to go to hell, then take to Krishna consciousness. He cannot be sent into hellish condition if one is Krishna consciousness. At least a human birth is guaranteed. That also good human birth. Suchinam Shrimatam Gehe. A wealthy family, a pure family. Krishna consciousness is the purest life, and it protects all human beings from gliding down to hell to take birth in the family of dogs and hogs. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports, 3rd canto, 30th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Description by Lord Kapiladev of Adverse Fruitive Activities. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll continue from chapter 31, Krishna willing, on Thursday. Hare Krishna. Okay, so 4 hands are up. Let's begin with Amrit Gaurangi Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, thank you so much for this nice explanation. But Prabhuji, my question is, all the points that are given here are not read by the people who are committing these sins. And I'm hoping that all of us who have come to this chapter are not committing these sins. So in what way is this going to reach the people who are actually committing this type of sins?
Through Prachar. Through Prachar. Therefore, sorry.
So this chapter is to inspire us to go and preach people who are committing sins?
Practice and also preach. This should inspire us to practice Krishna consciousness seriously and also to preach Krishna consciousness so that others don't have to suffer like this. Because this suffering is so um, severe that a devotee doesn't want anyone to suffer like this. Therefore, it should be an impetus for us to go and preach. And I'll show you one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which you will like very much. It is verse number 53 of the 51st chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. You are ready? Amrit Gaurangi Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
You save this verse. You will like this verse very much. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, The Deliverance of Muchukunda, chapter 51, verse number 53. भवापवर्गो भ्रमतो यदा भवे जनस्य अच्युत सत्समागमः सत्सङ्गमो यर्हि तदैव सद्गतौ परावरेशे त्वयि जायते मतिः. Shri Muchukunda Maharaj tells Lord Krishna, when the material life of a wandering soul comes to an end, O Achyut, he attains the association of your devotee, satsang. Satsangamo, in that satsang, Tvai jayate mati. He develops attraction, devotion unto you, who are the goal of the devotees and the Lord of all causes and their effects. So, in short, Shri Muchukunda Maharaj is saying that when we get satsang, then we develop a desire to be with Krishna. We develop a desire to attain Krishna. So therefore, the deliverance of people who have suffered in hell, who are going to suffer in hell, is really the association of devotees. Therefore, prachar is so important. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. To save them from hell. When Srila Prabhupada was once driving in America, he saw a billboard of McDonald's where they said 1 billion burgers served. And Srila Prabhupada looked at it and Prabhupada said, 1 billion people sent to hell. That was Prabhupada's vision. Prabhupada was asked, why are you traveling in jet aeroplanes? In India, Prabhupada was asked by a very orthodox sannyasi. Sannyasis are not supposed to leave Bharat Bhumi. Sannyasis are not supposed to travel in aeroplanes. It's such ugra karma. Yeah, they use jet fuel and so many things. Sannyasi is not supposed to do all this. Prabhupada said people are going to hell at the speed of jet airplanes. So I have to get on a jet airplane to stop them. Now the question is, why not have the memory of the hellish suffering that we went through for the different sins that we committed? Then it will be very easy for us to become pious. But for that, Mataji, one should come to the VA hospital with me. In the VA hospital, we see so many veterans who have PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Why? Because they have seen others suffer. They have seen their comrades being blown up by landmines, or they have seen their comrades being shot to death or get injured, and they have to pick them up, transport them, airlift them. And they have seen such trauma, they have seen such death. Now, this is nothing to what happens in hell. So, if such experiences on the battlefield can give one PTSD, the memory of those incidents, imagine if the painting that we saw, where we have undergone those, a dog has come and eviscerated us, our bowels. Imagine if that memory remains, what a trauma it will be. We will not be able to live. We'll go crazy. Everybody will have to see a psychiatrist every day, be on medications. So, therefore, the intelligent person learns through Shastra. And therefore, there are glimpses of hell even on this earth. Like that day shared, I don't know if you were there in the class that day, where I shared one story from my experience in a rural hospital, one experience in a very hi-fi Bombay hospital,
Yes.
urban hospital, and then one in a New York hospital. And I see such examples in Atlanta even now. Such tremendous, unbelievable suffering is there. Even today in this world, all around us, people are suffering. So when we see this kind of suffering, which we know is because of sinful activities, then we should learn from that and try to live a sinless life, a religious life, pious life. And then the preachers are meant for that purpose, to awaken people and get them into Krishna consciousness. Is that okay? That makes
I have
sense?
one more question, Prabhu.
Yes.
So, if the sins that are committed and are not supposed to be committed by devotees, like Vaishnava Aparad and some other things, Vaishnava Aparad is the one that comes to my mind. Will those also lead to these hellish situations, Prabhu?
When Gopal Chapal offended Srivas Thakur, he had very hellish suffering, isn't it? He lost his family, lost his position as a Brahman in family. He had to live alone in the forest in a leper colony and suffer such excruciating pain because of leprosy. His nose fell off, ears fell off, fingers fell off. Same thing happened to Amog when he committed Vaishnava Aparadh. He criticized Mahaprabhu and Mahaprabhu's followers. Immediately got cholera. He was suffering tremendously, profuse diarrhea, weakness, and then he was about to die. Same thing happened to Ramchandra Khan when he offended Srila Haridas Thakur and later on Nityananda Prabhu. So yes, Vaishnava Aparadh also leads to hellish suffering.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mukta Sangha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Prabhu, I have seen a very small confusion based on Srila Prabhupada's purport for the verse number 31. Okay, so there he says, the money is enjoyed by many members of the family, but he alone goes to hell. That is the second line. And the same paragraph, later he says that
Yeah,
family is also sent to hell.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
confusion.
So the family may suffer, but little bit. Prabhupada says that, little bit. If the husband is earning money by breaking the regulative principles, then the family is living off that money. So family also will have to face some reaction, but it will be small, little reaction. But the main reaction of going to hell and suffering for a long time, that will go to the husband who is earning money by breaking the regulative principles. Because the family has no choice. They are dependent. What can they do? But
But
still, it will create some inauspiciousness. And Prabhupada gives the example of a man who commits murder. He will be hanged. His family will suffer indirectly because now the earning member has gone to jail. Now people don't respect us. Other family members may not get a job knowing that the father of this family is incarcerated for a felony. Things like that. But the main suffering is given to the sinful person. So, yes, Prabhupada writes like that. But we have to understand that it is minimum suffering for the family, but the main suffering is for the person who is going out and committing those sinful activities. Is that okay, Prabhupada?
thank you, Prabhu.
Some collateral damage is there to the family members also, but mainly it is the person who is committing the crime, adharma. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Manali Chokshi Mataji and then Divya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I heard this in Prem Sindhu Prabhu's class that we get the human life by Krishna's only desire. If Krishna's mercy on the jeev, then only jeev can get the human form of life or any form of life. So I couldn't relate that and with the today's explanation, like jeev have to go through all the cycle which you mentioned, and that
Mm. Yeah, so human form of life is meant for bhajan, Krishna bhajan. And human form of life is a special mercy of Krishna so that we can get out of this cycle of birth and death. Durlabha Manusham Janma. It's very rare. And it is meant for Kaumaram Acharit Pratnyo. Iham Bhagavatam. From the childhood, Kumara Avasthan is less than 5 years old, we should engage in Krishna consciousness. So therefore, human birth is considered to be a special facility given by Krishna to the soul to attain perfection. Otherwise, so many species are there. Millions of species are there. They cannot practice Krishna consciousness like a human being can. So it's a very special favor of Krishna. Is that okay, Mataji? Okay. Divya Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare.
Where is that painting that Mataji was talking about?
Where is what?
That painting that where the dogs are eating the flesh.
It's in the book. Maybe someone can take a picture and put it on the group.
Which book is it?
Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay. What canto?
Mataji, you are a Ram Bhakta. This is like after hearing Ramayana, you are asking what is the relationship of Rama with Sita.
Missed that part. I thought
This
it
is
was
third
Bhagavad
canto.
Gita.
Third
but
canto, volume 2.
okay,
I will
third.
personally send you the painting ka photo. Don't worry. Go to sleep now.
And a
Correct.
couple more things.
Ah.
You spoke about Yamduta. I personally, like being a doctor, have you seen the people who are dying that they are actually seeing Yamdutas?
I have not seen any patient who came back after CPR and then said, "Oh, I saw Yamdutas." But I have seen patients who die, they defecate and they pass urine in their deathbed. That I have seen all the time. And there is medical explanation for that. The sphincters relax, all the muscles relax. So there is no way of holding back. Right now, we hold back. If we have to have a bowel movement, we hold back. But at a time of death, then the sphincters relax. Srimad Bhagavatam gives a deeper meaning of why people defecate and pass urine on their deathbed is because they may have seen Yamdutas who are very scary. So, like that.
And one more, just follow from a question from this morning when you said about Shanagati, that we should accept what is favorable and reject what is unfavorable. So, what are the examples of things that we should reject?
Things that take us away from Krishna, distract us away from Krishna, things that are an impetus to breaking the four regulative principles. And favorable is the different limbs of bhakti, chanting, associating with devotees, hearing something spiritual, reading something spiritual, worshipping the deities, like that. Those are favorable.
So what are the
Unfavorable is associating with non-devotees, eating in restaurants, like that. Browsing the internet and watching movies that increase material desires. Those are unfavorable.
okay? Thank
Hari
you.
Bol. Hare Krishna. And lastly, Satyarupa Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, we just read that the wife has, or the family members, at least if they don't take the punishment for the aparad what the husband has done, at least they will suffer the sinful activities. But what if the wife is a devotee and the wife doesn't have any other option other than the husband's earnings? And she cannot tell the husband also that don't earn like this. He will not agree with being not a devotee. So that time she has to suffer even.
No, she doesn't have to suffer. She doesn't have to suffer. Because karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. Even though there is some inauspicious karma, because the money is being earned in a adharmic way, irreligious way, but because she is practicing bhakti, she is sincere in her bhakti, any contamination that comes, it is purified. Krishna will take care of it. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Manmana bhav bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evashyasi. That wife will go to Krishna because she is a sincere devotee and she has no choice. Krishna is a person. Krishna understands our situation. And if we don't have any choice, and the wife should tell the husband that please earn money in a dharmic way, in a religious way, not in an irreligious way. But if the husband doesn't listen, the wife has no choice. What can she do? Krishna is not going to punish the wife. Bhakti will destroy all the karma. Aprarabdha phalam papam kutam bijon phalonmukha kramena eva praliyeta Vishnu bhakti ratatmana. If she is engaged in Krishna bhakti, then all the karma is destroyed. Hari Bol. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, one more thing is, I don't know how many have registered for the Bhakti Vaibhava course, Prabhuji, but not all have filled the presentation in Excel sheet. So if they
Yeah. So many signed up and then many dropped off. So even I don't know how many are active. So let's wait till the end of this module. Let's see how many take the theory test. And then they can also always catch up on their presentation. Presentations can be done in the end also, no problem. So, but those who are active, those who are sincere, then they have done presentations because then they will be caught up like that. So then it's not left for the last minute. So we'll see. You keep attendance. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Be scared of Satyarupa Mataji. She's keeping attendance. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.